I was wondering if you feel comfortable talking some about that, what it was like for you when you hit bottom.
Yeah, so when I was in my postdoc, it was 7 days a week, every week. I didn't
Mm,
even get to come back home for Christmas or any other holidays or anything. And first of all, that'll wear you out mentally. But second is I stopped going to church. I tried to watch some like live streams of churches, but it just wasn't the same. I felt very alone, first of all, during that time. But second, I didn't have a good relationship with my mentor, that was my postdoctoral boss.
mm,
We just really didn't see eye to eye on the research process. I was brought in as someone with expertise in epigenetics, and I would try to show her this is why I think this, and it just was met kind of like a brick wall. And I felt like I didn't belong there anymore. I was like, why am
mm,
I even here? I don't seem to have a purpose. And I think at that point, too, I started learning more about what it's like to be a full-time researcher. Chair of the department I was in, I went to him as kind of a mentor and just asked because his NIH grant had just run out
mm.
and it was not renewed. And he had a lab full of people that he was paying. And I was like, so what do you do? And he said, well, take out another mortgage on your house.
No.
And I was like, I can't deal with this stress. Like,
Hmm.
this is so much stress. And I think I went through a little bit of a crisis of what am I going to do? Because I thought this was what I wanted. I got so low at one point with feeling like I don't belong here. I'm not getting along with my boss. I'm so lonely that
Mm.
I recall I would say prayers where I would say, Lord, if you can't remove me from this situation, I'm going to need you to go ahead and just take me out of the world. However that happens.
Mm. Wow.
It was a very dark time, and I remember
Hmm.
speaking to my grandma. She's one of those grandmas that makes sure you're in church, and I
Hmm.
was sitting on that porch outside of the building I worked in, just sobbing on the phone, and
Mm.
she was like, "Well, I'm gonna start praying too, but I'm gonna pray that something opens up that's more fitting for you and you can find it and that you'll move out of that situation." I love this story because it just proves to me God. It proves it. So I remember saying, well, USC Upstate has such a pretty campus, and I liked when I visited there and just presented research. And it'd be great if somewhere like that would have an opening, because I
Mm.
could teach, I could still do a research program, but the research
Yeah.
wouldn't be at the forefront of everything. Like it wouldn't make
Okay.
or break me. And she said, well, I'm going to start praying and you pray too. And we both did. And every day I would go on a website and look, to see what kind of job postings. And then I saw it and it
Wow.
said assistant professor of biology. And I was like, this is weird. Like how
Yeah.
fitting this is, this job description. And I applied for it. And I remember it was like a couple of months before I interviewed or anything. And then they offered it to me. And I was like, this was God. God got me out of this.